Greetings and welcome to my dear Leo. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. We shall be doing and conducting a reading for the energy of Leo, the solar energy of the fifth house. Fifth house is open. We'll go ahead and get started with a bit of a karmic reading, and then we'll move in further into an incident that occurs in December that relates to this this karma. Okay. And furthermore, we'll do the Great Mirror. So you're going to have three sort of readings here. Take only what you will. This is for the month of December, and this will resonate with about 50%, I would reckon, in terms of truth and resonance for people out there. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, one careful observation that I want to reiterate about Leo energy, and particularly its relation to the axis of independence, of humanitarianism, of dharma, combined with the highest form of kama, which is a movement, essentially, from the path. Okay, this is the esoteric path, this is the path of truth, the path of right doing. From the fifth house to the 11th house, which is the path of right doing towards the forward progression of humanity, the evolutionary curve, the scientific method, the ability to detach and observe in this axis is very, very strongly pointed to. Okay, think of the innocence of a child. As a child observes, their truth is quite innocent. It's quite untainted. It's pure. There's a purity about it. The same goes for Aquarius. It's just that there are no conditions that apply. This axis, essentially, it stimulates free-forming connections. Okay, kind of like neural pathways of the human brain, wherein we can choose by our own free will, by our own ego even, to participate or not. And often it's not. There's this sort of laissez-faire, hands-off, sort of a fair-handed way of doing things, okay, wherein the sort of independent human spirit, it's evoked through these connections that Leo brings in, okay, this independent spirit. Okay, let's move. Okay. Where is this king moving towards? Okay. This is a reading about letting go, a karmic reading about letting go. Seeing what it was that was perhaps toxic, what it is that is perhaps toxic, letting that go. But it has to do with your own independent authority. Letting go of your authority, changing the way you view authority. It could be that, above all, you are trying to come up with a way to voice yourself. Okay, this is about clearing out negative energies, okay, in the month of December for Leo, and rising into a sense of power by letting go of expectations, okay, letting go of anything that is tied to toxic forms of love, the expectations that are found there, letting go of also one way in which you were creating in an emotional context, okay, feelings, these feelings you're letting go. There's something about it where through this, the action of purification can bring forward a vision that has to do with completely letting go. There's also something about the month of December where up to the later part of the month, you might be trying to escape or let go of something in order to sort of get rid of that connection, okay? But then you could be doing it with another person, with a friend or someone new, or perhaps you're letting go of impossible expectations, okay? when it comes to a particular relationship. It could also mean that you could be letting go of, let's see here, something that once gave a peace of mind, past connections that still have some emotional memory or something that is tied to. It's like letting go of the memory, but still remembering that there was a connection there. That there was a connection there. That's what I'm seeing. What the king is moving towards to. The king is shifting from the King of Cups to the King of Rods, bringing forward a vision of clarity when it comes to the fruits of your design, revisiting the past, understanding while letting go, understanding that there still was a connection there, and that something came of it, some form of legacy came from it. This is under the impression that there are expectations also about how to work with others, how to reach the cycle of pentacles, the culmination of humanitarian act and conversion when it comes to your own commitments, okay, societal or what have you, relationship commitments, and then seeing how those had disorders or they weren't part of a higher design. And that perhaps is what was holding back that connection into complete fruition, to the Ten of Pentacles. There is a sense that in the chaos of this mire of what you may be going through, of this process of letting go, there can be a way of escape, but then this realm of escape, when it comes to trying to find peace of mind, it might lead to something wherein you may be fighting certain conditions of cooperation with others in general, trying to meet those conditions, trying to understand how they will create or bring order, or perhaps even worse, they might these conditions, these relationships with others might actually bring forward a sense of disorder or chaos, and that's what's something you want to avoid. I think you might find in the month of December you can find a way to authenticity, to find clarity in authenticity, and there's also a possibility of really strong purgation, letting go, and getting rid of a lot of toxic elements in the body, okay, especially. But I'm not a doctor. So let's move forward. I want to see this process and how it is affecting Leo on an incidental level, what's going on in terms of incidents. So we're going to look at one particular incident that might occur in the month of December that should show something in terms of an occurrence, a simultaneity, something, a point of singularity for Leo. 3. Okay. Okay, so if you're going through, this has to do with essentially finding that one truth crosses to others, and then this bringing this conflict, and then there's a conflict and then a painful truth about something. Conflict and then painful truth about something. Two swords that bend and are that eclipse. Two swords that bend that eclipse the Ace of Swords. So the quest for truth is strong here. There is indication that any way you think about this situation, this incident, it's going to go. You're going to go through growing pains thinking about it. This is the way in which you deliver your cup of grace, your romance, your expectations when it comes to romantic pleasure or design. This also, on an incidental level, is leading to something much greater, but you have to go through the sense that truth emerges through pain, or that there is a painful truth that creates this situation. Four of Swords. Okay, this has to do with some form of a tower moment, some destructive force in which you have had to surrender your power, surrender, give up something. This is also indicated by the previous part of the karmic reading of the King of Cups. Lessening of power, trying to understand how you can come to the remains or the ruins of some situation that you've had to leave. And it's leading up to the Seven of Swords, because we have the Three and the Four of Swords. So I think you may find that as you contribute more thought to this situation, you're going to be able to have a better practice, a better understanding of purgation. Okay, that is basically just going through the pains, going through the motions, understanding the thought processes, letting those disintegrate and transform into some sort of energetic reserve. Okay, healing. This is a reading about healing. Now, if you're in search for that, you may have given your cup too much into the future. Okay. Meaning that there's a realm here that is requiring you to think about how to serve this realm, how to serve the realm of the future. Okay, and there's a way to essentially do this by approaching it through the Seven of Swords energy. It highlights Aquarian energy. Okay, and usually that has to do with finding a way to logically sort of understand how things will naturally fall apart anyways, okay, in terms of humanity's limitations, limitations in terms of communication, in terms of a way of thinking about things and cooperating with others. It's very, very difficult. The Seven of Swords will grant you a way to cooperate with others without any sort of dependent energy. There is also a possibility that you have had to surrender a shadow of yourself, or deal with a shadow of yourself, in which it's about romance, it's about expectation when it comes to pains that this shadow brings about. And the shadow work essentially is something that you have to look into the past in order to sort of work out. There also is a possibility of some form of rejection when it comes to a revival of a past situation or any situation in the past, or perhaps there's a way to revamp an old connection. Okay, let's see more into this. This has to do with, yes, the movement from the 9 to the 10 of Pentacles. This has to do with a new seed being sown, or a hidden resource when it comes to commitments, or your career, your job, your work, also anything that would work with others or working with others in general. There is a calling here. I think you might find that there could be on the horizon a great deal of wealth for anyone that has Leonic placements, especially as it pertains to the second, the 6th, and the 10th houses. So the idea here is hidden resources that come in the form of a calling. Okay, one hidden resource in particular, a new seed is on the horizon, and it's up to you whether or not you want to plant that seed in some form of new platform. Okay, a new sort of way of doing things in terms of independent respect for another. Okay, when it comes to dealing with others, respecting the element of respect, the idea, the procedures of respect that are required for this situation in particular. Now, if you are sort of trying to choose one from right from wrong, one idea to another, weighing up the pros and cons, this might lead to a form of the lessening of intensity. Okay, it will essentially bring you to a point of clarity in which you can understand how to prevent things from happening by respecting your space, by having a space of isolation that is completely your own, that is your own domain, your own territory, your own will. And there's a way for you to look into, there's a way for you to grow, actually, grow into a more balanced approach when it comes to especially your work and resources and where you're placing your time, your energy. There's an ability for you to essentially come up with a sort of maturity in which you will be accelerated. You have a new vehicle in which to incorporate any form of design when it comes to your own particular acclamations, your own sort of sense of security, your own sense of domain. Okay, but there also is a chance that you are going to plant a seed in the month of December that will help advance some elements of your family, your relationships, or society in general, humanity in general. Okay, the signs will be there. By the way, the signs will be there. You will see them coming. Now, let's move on into the Great Mirror. Now, the Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun to see particular karmas that may exist for the energy of Leo and a specific other. However significant this other is, it's up to you to use your discernment. They can be someone who you may have been interacting with, but they aren't giving you attention. This is a possibility, and in this there's a need for clarity with this person. I need to see into the Six of Swords energy. Okay. Okay, so there's a voice of righteous indignation inside of you when it comes to this. There is also the Seven of Pentacles, a realm of expectation that might be too great in terms of fulfilling what needs to occur here. Lots of Pentacles are here. We have the 7 and the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles, it's a very interesting card in that it denotes a lot of hard work. You're evoking someone who is very influenced by abstraction, as well as Neptune and the Moon and Mercury. There's a lot of activity in terms of the dormant quality of the conscious self. So a lot of them actually, whoever you're dealing with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, they are informed by some past karmas, big past karmas, and they are busy trying to work that out. There's an element of a hard worker within them that is a prelude to essentially what you are up to. And around this, there's an expectation of putting in the work so that something may work. But then there also is Saturn in the reverse. So it would basically be a Saturn retrograde indication here, wherein there is a very slow operation about the 7 of Pentacles here that has to do with a dry spell when it comes to coming up with a way to vocalize and to put into terms the conditions of this connection. Okay, this talks about promise, but when it comes to this, I would advise that some promises are by design very difficult to fulfill. And there could be a lot of expectation when it comes to what you expect out of this by what you can give. Now, because of such, what is greatly needed is the 3 of Pentacles for this to work out. What I do see here is an element that speaks of a cold way of operation. Someone that you're dealing with has to tend to their own affairs in order for things to work out. And then as well for you, there is an element of inquietude. There is a sort of, once again, righteous indignation. There is a fire on the field. Let's see here. Okay. Now, the big question is if you are if you're actually giving if you're actually giving the right emotional sort of splendor to this, the right emotional sustenance to this, okay. Now, if it's not flowing, then it's not flowing, and how can you expect something out of it? That's the sort of logos about this. Also, because of the Saturn and the South Node energy that is highly resonant here, it's very difficult to remove any obstacles. Okay, on a conscious level, I think both of you know this. On a deeper level, however, it's quite profound. What is culminating here is a connection that actually fosters change, that fosters the generation of strength, okay, the generation of intuition even. There's something about this connection that causes each other to sort of second guess themselves. But in this second guessing, there's a strong sense of empowerment that is coming and becoming mutually beneficial for both people. There also is some form of deep complexity that is trying to be understood in terms of this. It's as if, okay, here's somewhat of a takeaway. It's an allegorical one, metaphoric in nature. It's as if something about Leo has been set into the ground, has been buried, and has been waiting there for generations in order for there to be some form of reanimation or some sort of growth in terms of a return by the graces of Mother Nature, by the graces of what should be in terms of life. Okay, so this could represent a type of life after death situation in which the voices from the grave speak out. There's something about that. Okay, now if this person is highly dealing with the South Node in this situation, it could be some form of reckoning when it comes to the voice that is coming out of you, that is speaking out of the grave. Very cryptic, I know. But from that, there is a sense that a different choice could have been made. Some choice could have been made, okay? There also is a sense that it didn't have to go that way, or, you know, there's just way too much sort of expectation when it comes to, especially, it would be Taurus's energy, the second house, when it comes to voicing something that is familiar to both, but then it never hits the spot, okay? I think this person is essentially coming up with the Two of Pentacles or the Six of Pentacles, trying to balance out some of the more emotional things that stimulate this situation. Often what you may give them, either inadvertently or with design, are things that are extremely fertile in nature, that stimulate a sense that the seed has been sown. So where the fuck are, you know, where the fuck are the sort of where the fuck is the harvest sort of thing, and you've been waiting lifetimes for this, something like this. There also is a possibility of really letting go of essentially, it's like you've constantly been letting go. It's as if like this person attended your burial. You know, this is the best I can do for this type of reading. Let's see. The idea here is to essentially go with the Eight of Cups. This type of situation requires the good graces of the fourth house and the ability to embrace the hermit's journey, or perhaps even the fool's journey, to scale new avenues, to reach new heights in terms of your own progression as an individual, to find challenges, to scale those, to become a Highlander, to become someone who has seen quite a bit on their own isolated path when it comes to challenges and tribulation of the human experience, and to reach new heights. Okay, this also speaks about letting go and purging. It seems to be the theme for the month of Leo. Letting go, hitting that button, and healing, and essentially evolving out of that. But what I could say about this is that this person is very much self-reserved. There's something about where they give their time that is very much, it's picky. It's very picky they're very picky with how they invest. And because of such, if they were to give to you, it would push you forward into, it would either push you forward into the, let's see here, it would be the Eight of Pentacles or the Six of Pentacles. So if they were to give to you, they would push you into a way of being like them. And I don't know if that's something that you would want. That's basically what I'm seeing for this month, and hopefully that clarifies something. I do wish you well. Thank you. Bye-bye.